All right, good afternoon to everybody. So once again, we are here together, the second round of SPM paper. So let me double check with you guys. Can you guys actually hear me? Wait. All right, thank you very much. So, okay, so we gather once more here, this time for paper one instead. So pretty much it's the same concept. So welcome back to those who have been following us last week. Welcome to those newcomers. So let us go through the basic first before we start, yeah? So before we begin, as usual, we have different presenters for different sections. For paper one, PPT SARIKEI has been very, very honored. We are proud to be able to invite these two experienced teachers to share with us on one. So we have Cikgu Johnny Ling from Bintulu, and we have Cikgu Camping from SARIKEI. So they're going to present section A, directed writing, and section B for continuous writing. Again, because today we are talking about the marking scheme, meaning that what type of writing will be equivalent to what grade, and therefore today's talk will definitely be more suitable for teachers instead of students. Questions can be raised at any time in the comment section. Please be respectful to each other, and today's note will be made available for download later on. Also, you will be able to watch this video offline once we are done with the live. And lastly, don't worry, you will be able to fill the attendance details at the very end of today's sharing. SPLG website has been down since 11:30. So if the matter has not been resolved at the end of the day, I'll change the attendance to filling in the Google form instead. So Google form, you have to make sure you key in your IC correctly. Then I'll have to manually transfer those details into SPLG. Alright, so hopefully SPLG will be okay by at 4 p.m. Then we'll all be able to the usual method of filling in the attendance. Alright, so my last reminder for today is to actually download the paper one, SPM 2019, based on the link that you see on the website that I'm sharing right now. Yeah, so please download the link, and it contains paper one. You will need to refer to it from time to time so that you will be able to follow the flow of the presenter. And I think my PPD is here, my boss is here. So dengan bangga hatinya, so kita memberi sedikit masa kepada bos saya, Tuan Cikgu PPD, Cikgu Long Yitung from PPD SARIKEI untuk memberi sepatah dua kata sebelum kita bermula dengan sharing of today. Okay, jadi Cikgu PPD, dipersilakan.
Okay, salam sejahtera, salam menjulang pendidikan daerah SARIKEI, salam SARIKEI No. 1 kepada semua, terutamanya Cikgu Bridget Lee Maypon, SIC Bahasa Inggeris, PPD SARIKEI atas inisiatif menyelaras dan berusaha mengadakan bengkel ini. Kepada Cikgu Johnny Ling Lewi dari SMK Asyakirin Bintulu yang sudi bekerjasama untuk menjayakan bengkel ini, dan juga kepada Cikgu Lee Cheng Ping dari guru bahasa Inggeris dari SMK Tinggi SARIKEI. Terima kasih kepada anda berdua kerana sudi berkongsi pengalaman dan ilmu kepakaran kepada semua guru-guru di daerah SARIKEI dan juga kepada daerah lain yang mungkin sempat juga mengikuti bengkel ini pada petang ini. Jadi tidak lupa juga saya ingin mengambil kesempatan ini untuk mengucapkan jutaan terima kasih kepada Cikgu Zainal, Zainal bin Ripin, penolong PPD, Unit Sumber Teknologi Pendidikan, PPD SARIKEI, kerana menjadi host pada petang ini untuk menjayakan bengkel ini. So, terlebih dahulu saya ingin ucapkan jutaan terima kasih kepada semua guru yang sudi meluangkan masa pada petang ini untuk mengikuti bengkel ini. So, bengkel ini agak penting bagi saya, sebab itu saya ambil peluang ini untuk bercakap sepatah dua kata, walaupun sebenarnya pada minggu lepas bengkel Perkongsian Amalan Terbaik Bahasa Inggeris untuk paper 2 saya ingin masuk, tapi pada masa ada bertembung dengan mesyuarat saya, so saya tidak dapat. So hari ini saya cuba bercakap sedikit kepada semua cikgu, terutamanya guru bahasa Inggeris di daerah SARIKEI. Okay. Terima kasihlah kerana anda meluangkan masa untuk meningkatkan kompetensi diri dalam menyampaikan bahasa Inggeris di sekolah masing-masing. So, bengkel ini diadakan untuk membantu semua guru mungkin lebih mendekati format penyemakan ataupun format soalan bahasa Inggeris. Walaupun ini adalah tahun terakhir menggunakan format ini, tetapi masih penting bagi setiap guru untuk membiasakan diri dan memastikan semua murid kita menjawab ataupun bersedia mengikut kehendak format peperiksaan bahasa Inggeris, walaupun ini adalah tahun terakhir. Untuk tahun depan kita ada format yang baharu dalam bahasa Inggeris, tapi kita masih perlu sentiasa bersedia membantu murid kita. Dan seperti kita sedia maklum, untuk tempoh PKP ini selama sudah lebih dari 2 bulan, mungkin menyebabkan buku tentang past year question itu tertunda. Jadi ramai mungkin tak dapat sumber past year question. Jadi bengkel ini boleh membantu mendedahkan sedikit tentang past year question yang lepas. Jadi diharap semua dapat memberikan mendapat manfaat daripada bengkel ini. So, sebagai seorang guru bahasa Inggeris, terutamanya pada sekarang KPM kita sedang menekankan standard CEFR. Jadi standard ini kita dapati memang semakin mencabar. Jadi memandangkan standard ini semakin mencabar dan usaha kerajaan atau KPM membantu setiap murid kita menguasai bahasa Inggeris sebagai bahasa ilmu, bahasa komunikasi yang penting di dalam kehidupan kita. Jadi CEFR telah dikenalkan, ditekankan. Jadi sebagai seorang guru bahasa Inggeris, sampai masanya untuk meningkatkan kompetensi diri dalam penguasaan bahasa Inggeris. Jadi saya menyeru kepada semua guru bahasa Inggeris agar sentiasa dapat meningkatkan kualiti sesuai dengan tuntutan CEFR. Terutamanya mungkin kalau ketua-ketua penitia bahasa Inggeris yang sedang mengikuti bengkel ini, mohon bawa mindset ini dan kesedaran ini kepada semua guru bahasa Inggeris di sekolah, bukan sahaja guru bahasa Inggeris yang mengajar tingkatan 4 dan 5, malah bermula dari tingkatan 1, sebab penguasaan bahasa adalah bermula dari peringkat awal. Sebab makin meningkat umur, kita makin susah menguasai bahasa, sebab pemerolehan bahasa semakin susah apabila semakin meningkatnya umur kita. Jadi saya berharap semua guru bahasa Inggeris perlu berusaha meningkatkan kualiti dan standard bahasa Inggeris masing-masing. Dan sebagai guru bahasa Inggeris, kita perlu juga sentiasa menggunakan bahasa Inggeris di sekolah pada bila-bila masa. So sekerap yang mungkin, di mana-mana sahaja, dalam mana-mana situasi, terutamanya semasa di dalam kelas, So kita sepatutnya menggunakan, kalau dapat menggunakan sepenuhnya bahasa Inggeris yang mudah dulu, lepas itu melalui pengulangan, sebab kita mempelajari bahasa biasa. Ada mana-mana ilmu biasanya melalui pengulangan. Jadi guru bahasa Inggeris boleh mengulang arahan ringkas dulu, kemudian meminta murid kita mengikuti, mengulangi sehingga mereka boleh faham tanpa melalui terjemahan. Mungkin dengan minimum kalau ada. Jadi saya haraplah PDP semasa di dalam bilik darjah, terutamanya bahasa Inggeris, menggunakan bahasa Inggeris dengan semaksimum mungkin. Ini dapat membentuk satu budaya atau image kepada murid kita. Apabila jumpa saja guru bahasa Inggeris, mereka mesti bercakap dengan bahasa Inggeris. So, apabila ada tekanan dan dorongan, yes, kita haraplah tekanan ini menjadi satu dorongan kepada semua kita untuk membantu murid meningkatkan kemahiran berbahasa, terutama bahasa Inggeris. Jadi, kalau kita sebagai guru sentiasa bercakap atau menggunakan bahasa Inggeris dalam komunikasi, so murid-murid kita apabila berjumpa dengan kita, secara automatiknya mereka akan menggunakan bahasa Inggeris atau cuba berusaha menggunakan bahasa Inggeris sebagai komunikasi antara murid dengan guru. Satu lagi adalah, kalau kita selalu menggunakan bahasa Inggeris, ini adalah selaras dengan program HIP, Highly Immersive Program, iaitu mewujudkan satu suasana atau situasi, iklim membantu semua warga, murid dan guru masa seluruh sekolah bersama-sama membentuk satu situasi pembelajaran bahasa yang sangat memberangsangkan. Jadi saya mohon juga agar semua guru sama-sama berusaha ke arah mewujudkan highly immersive program dalam bahasa Inggeris. Dan untuk membantu murid menguasai bahasa dengan sebaiknya, sebenarnya setiap bahasa, tidak semestinya bahasa Inggeris. Dan dalam konteks ini, semestinya kita tekankan bahasa Inggeris. Setiap penguasaan bahasa memang bermula daripada bertutur, speaking. Lepas itu mungkin listening dan writing. So bercakap, bertutur, mendengar, membaca dan menulis. Jadi saya berharap nanti semua cikgu dapat menyediakan lebih banyak latihan untuk membantu murid kita menguasai bahasa Inggeris, terutamanya mungkin menyediakan speaking punya audio, adapun kita memandangkan sekarang tempoh PKP dan telah menggalakkan penggunaan teknologi digital. Jadi saya mohonlah semua guru dapat menyediakan bahan-bahan audio atau video yang menggalakkan speaking dan listening, maka ini dapat membantu peringkat pertama dalam penguasaan bahasa. Dan menyediakan lebih banyak latihan writing supaya murid kita dapat melatih atau memperkukuh apa yang telah dipelajari dalam bahasa Inggeris. Dan juga saya mohon guru boleh menyemak semua latihan yang dihantar supaya mereka mendapat feedback yang terus tentang kesilapan mereka, maka mereka dapat mempelajarinya, mempelajari bahasa melalui kesilapan mereka itu dengan serta-merta. Dan satu lagi perkara mungkin kita perlu menggalakkan sentiasa mencetuskan situasi untuk murid berkomunikasi walaupun dalam keadaan broken. Dan sebagai seorang guru, kita tidak boleh cuba tidak mengambil berat tentang bahasa broken. So kita tidak boleh mentertawakan ataupun terus menegur dengan cara tidak konstruktif, kita cuba kalau nak betulkan kesilapan broken mereka, kita tolong ulang apa yang betul. Kita tak boleh katakan ini salah ni. Ataupun kita ketawakan. Apabila ini berlaku, mungkin murid itu tidak akan berani lagi bercakap. Jadi apabila ada silap, kita cuba ulang yang satu yang betul. Mungkin ulang 2 kali. Ataupun minta mereka ulang sekali 2 kali. Jadi melalui pembetulan yang lebih konstruktif demikian, maka dapat membantu atau meningkatkan motivasi dan keberanian murid untuk mencuba bercakap dalam bahasa Inggeris. Jadi inilah antara faktor guru yang menjadi pendorong dan pembimbing kepada murid dalam penguasaan bahasa Inggeris. Jadi saya harap perkongsian saya serba sedikit dapat memberikan cetusan idea kepada guru dan seterusnya dapat membantu murid kita meningkatkan pencapaian bahasa Inggeris. Memandangkan sentiasa bahasa Inggeris adalah satu subjek kritikal, saya yakin di mana-mana sahaja. Ya. Disebabkan kita mungkin kekurangan peluang untuk menggunakan bahasa Inggeris di sekolah ataupun di rumah, maka peranan guru adalah sangat penting dalam membantu murid kita menguasai bahasa Inggeris dengan lebih baik. Okey, sekian. Terima kasih. Selamat berbengkel. Okey, terima kasih Cikgu Bridget Lee.
Okay, terima kasih Tuan PPD. Ya, amanat yang sangat berfaedah untuk kita semua. Okay, alright. So before we begin our sharing, I would like to ask all of you, would you mind to actually subscribe to this channel so that you'll be updated with all the latest information, all the latest online classes that we do have. So click subscribe and you will be updated all the time. And then because we have 2 presenters here, how we work is that when you guys ask comments, please have a little bit of patience. When Cikgu Johnny is presenting, Cikgu Lee will try his very best to be answering some of your questions in the comments section. And then it's the other way around. When Cikgu Lee is presenting, then Johnny will be the one who will be trying their very best to answer the comments or the questions that you have posted there. Okay, so that's how the flow will go. So without wasting any more time, PPT SARIKEI is very honored to invite Cikgu Johnny to give his sharing on paper 1. Please, Cikgu Johnny.
Okay, good afternoon everyone. Can you hear me? Is this okay?
Ya, dapat dengar. Terima kasih Cikgu Johnny.
Okay, all right. So I'm gonna start now. So I'm Johnny from SMK Ashakiri Bintulu. So I'll be presenting on the director writing part. Okay. So this is the outline for my presentation this afternoon. So we are going to go through the past year question first, and later we are going to focus on the format, the content, and at the end of the slide will be a little bit about the language. All right. All right. Let's go for the past year question. So let's read together. Yeah. You took part in the Go Green Day in your local area. The aim was to help people learn about the environment. You have decided to write an article about the Go Green Day for your school magazine. Use the notes below to write your article. So there are 4 parts in this essay. So the first part will be talking about information about the Go Green Day, where it was, when it was, who organized it, who was involved. The second part will be talking about the topics, protecting animals, learning about plants, dealing with rubbish. And the third part will be talking about the Go Green Day activities, whereby students are required to give details for each activity, taught by expert, making a garden, recycling, and give one more activity. And lastly, we are talking about conclusion, your best memory of the Go Green Day, why you think students should go to the Go Green Day next year. So when writing the article, you must use the appropriate format, provide a title, and give your name as the writer. Develop all the points given, give your own ideas when needed. All right, so I believe that we all know what to write right now. So let's move on to the format. So as we all know, the format is always indicated at the end of the questions. So here, the format is a title. We need a title and as well as a writer's name. Therefore, the format will be only 2 marks. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to show you some examples or samples of the kind of writing that we may encounter given by our students. Okay, so here are a few samples. If we look at sample number 1, so obviously there is this title, which is F1, and we can see that there is a name, which is Doraemon Nobita. Okay, so that is F2. So full marks for the format. As for sample 2, what we can see here is that the name is written after the title. So we still award the marks. We still award F1 and also F2. There's nothing wrong here. And look at sample 3. We can see here the title is written, but the name of the writer is written after the essay, which is after the essay. So it's written down by Doraemon Nobita. So here we still give F2. So overall, all the 3 samples here, they got full marks for format. But what if we encounter a kind of students writing whereby there is a title, but the name is replaced by a signature? Are we going to award marks for this format? Okay, for me, I will not award this mark. Why? Because we have to understand what is the requirement of the question. The question requires us to give a name to it. So when you look at this signature, it is totally indecipherable. You cannot read it. Therefore, we cannot award any marks for this signature. So therefore, for sample 4, the format mark is only 1 mark. As for sample 5, we can see that after the signature, there is this name below that. So since there is a name here, so it's totally fulfilled the requirement for this format. So again, we award F2. As for the last part, sample 6. Now, this kind of writing we will always encounter when we see, especially among the weak students, whereby they cannot remember the format clearly. So what we can see here is that there is an address here. Clearly, it's not the format of an article, but after the address, we can see there is this title and also an author's name. So hereby, I want to ask you guys whether are we still going to award it since the name and also the title is still there. Okay, now because there is this alien in the format, so it shows that this student has no understanding of the task. Therefore, we cannot award any format marks for it. Okay, so a little bit of quick tips on how you want to give marks to the students regarding this format is that the title must be relevant. The name, it can be either at the back of the title, below the title, at the end of the writing, and the format must be also correct to show that there is an indication that the students have a total understanding of the task. Okay, so I hope that you are very clear regarding format now. Let's move on to the content. Now, when the format is only 2 marks, the content is definitely 13 marks. So let's look at the content altogether. So there will be 13 contents altogether. So what must be focused when we try to give content points to the students? So there's a few things that we need to bear in mind, that the answers given by the students, they have to be very, very specific. It cannot be general. It won't make you doubt on what the student is trying to say, or you have to make a guess. So it has to be specific. Besides that, the students must always write some sentences that make sense, which means that it is understandable, that you don't have to read on the student's behalf. And you also, sometimes the points given or the ideas given by the students, they may be unusual, but it is not impossible, which means that even though the idea is weird, but we can't say that it's totally wrong. There might be some occurrence in the real life events. So we don't penalize them, we award in fact. And make sure that the sentence is not distorted, means the meaning comes through, everything is clear to you. Details must be mentioned as well if it is required in the question. And some students, maybe those brilliant students, they might not want to use the same points as given in the questions. So what do they do is that they normally will try to rephrase the content points according to their own creativity. So as long as the sentence constructed by them, the ideas is similar to the questions, we still award them marks. So this is what we call meaning that is implied in the sentence. All right, these are the criteria that we need to think of before we award the students mark. So let's go to the first part of the essay, which is the information about the Go Green Day. So clearly there are 4 points here. All right, so one quick tips is that the answers given by the students must be specific. So what are the acceptable answers for this? So C1, where it was. So it can be in the town hall, it can be in the school, at the playground, or even in Kampung Jepat, okay? But if the students write down local area or at a place, these are quite general. So for me, this is a bit vague. So we cannot award any marks, content marks for this C1 if the students write these answers down, okay? As for C2, when it was, we can see that the students can give the date, okay, or they can also write down last week, last month, last Sunday, or even an hour ago. But if the students give time to it, then we don't accept it because I don't think it is very appropriate. Or some time reference like recently or every year, these are all very vague as well. So we don't award them any marks for C2. Then let's move on to who organized it. It can be anyone as long as it makes sense. So it can be my school, the city council, my friend and I, or the government, or an NGO. It can be the neighboring country as well. It's up to you, okay? Who was involved? Okay, it can be the residents of Kampung Jepat, our students, everybody in my school, or even the volunteers. But if the student write down everyone or everybody, people, public, or local people, these answers we cannot accept. Why? Because it's very vague. Now I understand, maybe you were saying, why the word everybody here cannot be accepted, whereas here it can be accepted. Well, I'm going to give you a few examples. So let's look at these 2 sentences, yeah? So everybody in my school was involved as compared to everyone was involved. Which one is more specific, the first one or the second one? Well, obviously, it is the first one. Why? Because everybody in my school, it somehow represents the whole community in the school. So it represents the school community, which is already quite specific in that sense, as compared to the second sentence, which is everybody. So I hope that this will make it clearer for you as to why everybody in my school is accepted as opposed to everybody only. Now we move on to the, I'm going to give you a little bit of exercises for you to think about whether for all of us to evaluate a little bit, whether we want to give the content points for such writings. And bear in mind that when we do these exercises, we only focus on the content per se. Means we don't judge anything. We don't try to ignore the grammatical mistake done by the students, okay? We only focus on the content. We can look at the language, but we just look at whether the language, whether meaning derives from the language that they put forward for the teachers. Okay, so we're gonna move on. Okay, let's look at sample number 1. This program was open to everybody that want and interested to join it. So obviously, this student is trying to answer C4. Are you going to award marks for this? Okay, so for C4 here, everybody that wants and interested to join in, I wouldn't award marks for this point. Why? Because it is a bit too general. What do you mean by everybody that want and interested to join it? So who are these people? So it's still very baffling. We don't know who they are. So since it is general, we don't award marks for this point. All right. So for the second sample, let's look at the sample number 2. These activities have been held at Kingstown City Hall. Obviously, the person is trying to answer C1, and organized by the local citizens who was involved. Local citizen, we can see that it is C3, who was involved in this program every year. So the person is trying to answer C4 as well. So look, based on this sentence, based on this, are you going to award these points? Okay, so we are going to discuss point by point. Yeah? Look at C1 here, Kingstown City Hall, very specific. Obviously, we are going to award C1 here. But let's look at the second, the C3 here, organized by the local citizens. Now, are you going to award it? I am going to award it. Why? Well, if you look at the sentence here, the Kingstown City Hall somehow has already compensate, telling us that these local citizens are somehow people who are residing or who are staying in Kingstown City, that area. So when we read the whole sentence, we can understand that, these local citizens, they are from the Kingstown City. All right. And therefore, C3 is still awarded because you can understand it. And it's quite specific, just because of the word Kingstown City. Who was involved in this program. Again, we know that these local people, not only they organize, they are the one who are involved in this program. Therefore, C4 is still accepted. So I think I have to say that for these students, the word Kingstown City Hall has saved his life to get all these points correct. All right, let's go for sample 3. About Go Green Day, it was at my school. Okay, at my school, clearly trying to answer C1. It was my school magazine. It started on 10th October 2019. Again, trying to answer C2. My English teacher is organized the Go Green Day. My English teacher is organized, trying to answer C3. My English teacher is loving flora and fauna. All the English teachers joined the Go Green Days to evolve. Clearly it's a spelling mistake here. Evolve that. So all the English teachers joined, trying to answer C4. So are you going to award all the 4 points? Okay, so if you look at here, C1, at my school, clearly is quite specific. Therefore, we put C1 that is correct. And on 10th October 2019, definitely quite very specific already. My English teacher is organized, very good, C3, all right, very specific. All the English teachers join. The word join clearly shows involvement. So C4 is clearly correct. So what I want to tell you is that even though the students, their language might be a bit weak, but it's not impossible for the students to get all these points correctly, all right? Now let's move on to sample 4, the last one for this part. Hello, teacher and my friend. Today I story about Go Green Day. Last year, look at this word last year. We clearly is trying to answer C2. So for me, is this quite, for you, is this specific enough? Yeah, I believe this is specific enough. So I will clearly give a C2 here. I went to the green with my family. Maybe this student is trying to answer C4. We are going to leave it there first. Later we come back. Many campaign you can join at the Go Green. This place at the Go Green has many plants, animals, and activities because the activities very best and happening. The Go Green place at my local area. Look at the word my local area. This is trying to answer C1. Are you going to a word C1 here? Yeah, I don't think so because it's a bit too vague. It's too general. So we are not going to a word C1 here. You can go green to the everyday weekend. You can invite your friends, your cousins, or your younger brother or sister because this place is very good. Now clearly we can see we can sense that the student is trying to answer C4 here. Now compare the C4, my family, and the C4 here invited your friends, the whole sentence. Which one are you going to award C4? Okay, so if I were you, I would not award C4 the second C4 here because it is quite irrelevant. Look at the word invited. I think it somehow shows that the event has not happened yet. So it's totally out of the question. It's already out. It's totally irrelevant. And if you look at here, for C4 here, the last year I went to the green with my family. It's as if like you are involving your family in that event. Therefore, we still accept C4 here, my family, as in who was involved in the event. So C4 here is correct. Therefore, teachers, always be critical when we try to give marks to the students in terms of the content. You know, sometimes when they write, and then there might be some part of it that is answering, even though it's not their intention to it, but sometimes we can award it based on their answers. All right, let's go for the next part, which is the topics. So clearly there are 3 points here. Now, a very quick tip here is that it is not necessary for the students to use the exact wordings from the questions. They can use their own creativity as long as the idea is still the same. Now, let's look at the sample sentences here. I show you a few. Some of the topics are protecting animals, learning about plants, and dealing with rubbish. Look at all these things. Obviously, we are going to award all the 3 points here, C5, C6, and C7. Why? Because obviously they just lift from the topic, yeah? And they use the exact wordings. However, there are some students that might use their own creativity to change a little bit. For example, the topic is how to be protective towards animals. Look at the word class, protecting and also protective. It's totally different already, but still the idea is the same. Therefore, we are going to use to give C5. Besides, they taught us about plants. So they taught us about plants. So here is an indication saying that they are learning something. Again, learning about plants and taught us about plants, it still has the same idea. So we are going to award C6. Lastly, we dealt with rubbish. Dealing with rubbish, dealt with rubbish. So it's just a change in the tense. Again, we still give C7. So obviously, this student is trying to rephrase the points that are given. And lastly, we learn how to keep animals safe. Look at it. We learn how to keep animals safe. How to keep animals safe. The word safe here is already an indication saying that we are trying to protect the animal. Even though the wordings are not the same, but the ideas are quite the same. Therefore, we are going to award C5 here. People knew the benefits of plants to our earth. Look at the word knew here. In fact, it's an indication saying that the students are learning something about plants. Am I right? So when you see this, knew the benefits, they're learning about plants, again, we'll still award C6. Lastly, next, community learn how to dispose waste properly and dealing with rubbish. We can see that the ideas are totally the same. The ideas are the same, all right? How to dispose is the same meaning as how to deal with the rubbish. So we are going to award C7 here. So ladies and gentlemen, what I'm trying to tell you is that sometimes the students are going to use their own creativity to write. Or for which students, they might not understand maybe they understand the points here, but they don't know how to use the phrases given. So they are going to come out with their own way of writing to ensure that the ideas are more similar. So here, what we can say here is that it is what we call the implied meaning. So even though the sentence they do not use the same phrase in the sentence, but the meaning is implied here. Therefore, we are going to award them marks. Okay, I hope you are clear about this. Next, we are going to go for Go Green Day activities. Now, for Go Green Day activities, I think last year's question is a bit different than the rest of the years, because there is this requirement that the students need to give details for each activity. So teachers, for this part, it is compulsory for the students to write, which means that all these 4 points, they need to come together with a detail, either 1 or 2. So it's up to the students' capability to write. So one quick tips here is that how are we going to add these details? So there are 2 ways. The first one is in terms of sentence level, which all the students normally do. And the second one is the phrase level. So what do we mean by all these things? I'm going to show you. So sentence level is basically is what our students normally do in their essays. Okay, so I'm going to show you. Let's take C8 first. The activity included a talk by an expert. She was Madam Shizuka, a well-known environmentalist. Okay, so obviously this student is trying to add in details by coming up with another new sentence at the back of the first point, okay, to add more details and information about this expert. So for the first level, it's just like this. The activity included a talk by an expert, Madam Shizuka. Although it is short and simple, but we can see that there is detail there. Who is this expert? Madam Shizuka. So simple, so easy, but then it gives us the detail of who this expert is. So it's clearly Madam Shizuka. Let's move on to C9. The next activity was making a garden. We also label the plants. So these are the details. This is not what our students normally do. But they can also do like this. The next activity was making a botanical garden. Because if you look at here, C9, it's talking only making a garden. Whereas this student, they add in an adjective saying that it's a botanical garden. So when we look at the word botanical garden, it's already give us the idea or the picture saying that this garden is full of plants and all the plants are labeled. So it's called botanical garden. So since even with one simple word, it's already give us such a huge information in that sentence. Therefore, it's also considered as a detail for this garden. Next, for C10, besides, they were involved in recycling. Unused items and all newspapers were collected and recycled. So this is the detail. All the students can write like this. Besides, they were involved in recycling unused items and all newspaper. Recycling what? Recycling all these items. So this is already giving another detail to what kind of recycling that they are doing. So I hope you are clear that it does not have to be always like this, always in the sentence level form. It can be in the phrase level form. So bear in mind, as long as the sentence gives you extra information regarding the activities, it's already considered as details. As for C11, one more activity. So it can be anything. It can be like, clean the beach for 30 minutes, play games about nature, plant a tree by everyone, feed the animals some food such as rabbits, pick up rubbish after the event, give advice by our principal. Wow, when you look at all these points, you must be wondering, oh my gosh, the last 3 points might be a bit ridiculous, isn't it? But it is not unusual, am I right? It is possible that in this event, in such event, that these activities might occur. They might include this in the event. And therefore, we don't clearly, scrap off this idea. We don't say it is wrong. We still accept it because it is still possible and it is still, reasonable for me. Okay, so now we are going to do some practices. Let's look at sample number 1. After that, have taught by expert, making a garden and recycling, also we can do the switch off electric 1 hour. So when I look at this sentence, I was thinking that, okay, maybe this student is trying to answer C11 since there is a new detail here. There's a new information activity here, switch off electric hour. So are you going to award this point? Okay, to me, I'm not going to award this point. Why? Because the whole sentence is distorted. You cannot understand what the student is trying to say. Bear in mind, don't read for the students. Try to read their original sentence and see whether the meaning comes true or not, okay? Let's look at sample number 2. Activity is recycling. It is open for male and female. It is take 5 kilometers to finish the race. So this clearly is trying to answer C10. Are you going to award this point? Okay, now if you look at this sentence, even though there is details to it, like trying to give, there is this detail to this recycling, but obviously we can see that there is confusion in the student between recycling and the activity cycling. So they got confused maybe. So therefore, because the details given does not add any extra information to the activity recycling, so we do not award this mark because it's quite illogical. Let's look at sample 3. Recycling is one of the benefits to stay healthy. Recycling can make our body strong and more health. What do you think? Clearly, it's trying to answer C10. Okay, so what do you think? For me, I will accept it. Why? Because no doubt when we do some recycling activities, it's gonna include some physical activities. So we just assume that even though it's such a small movement, it does still have some impact, positive impact to your body. Am I right? So we'll still accept it that it will make our body a bit healthier, a little bit only. Okay. So let's look at sample 4. Next, the activities in the Go Green Day is recycling the rubbish into making a garden. So as a teacher, we might be a bit confused that, okay, which content point that this student is trying to write. So therefore, always read further first, teacher. Don't make conclusion so fast. Okay, so we're going to continue reading it. Recycling are good because recycling are improve it yourself. Okay. So here, clearly, the student is trying to answer C10. Okay, so are you going to award C10? Yeah, I am going to award C10. Even though the language is a bit off a little bit, but the meaning still comes through. Saying that recycling can make you to become better. Okay, and you can talk about recycling and you're expert. The whole sentence is a bit distorted already. You can buy a plant at the Go Green Day. Look at this one. So obviously it's trying to answer C11, giving new activity. So are you going to award this point? Okay, so remember that we need details for each activity. If you look at this sentence, it's not going to get C11 because there is no detail to it. So bear in mind, when we mark this essay, we always must refer to the questions. Okay, next, for the last part of the essay, conclusion. So C12, your best memory of the Go Green Day. So here, your best memory, clearly it has to be from the writer themselves, okay? So the best memory, when the student want to answer this C12 best memory, they can always reuse the available activities, such as the garden just now, the expert thoughts on the recycling, or they can give a new ideas to answer C12, like, went to the beach to clean or met new friends. sometimes students might get creative a little bit. So they don't want to use the word best memory. So they can write had a lot of fun, or they can even write down enjoy, which clearly indicates the best memory as well. But if the students write the go green there, means the best memory is the go green there, or the best memory is to join the activities in that event, we do not award these marks because it's a bit vague here. So clearly, we don't know what they are trying to say. Which activity that create the best memory for them. Okay, so it's a bit vague, so we don't award it. As for C13, why you think students should go to the Go Green Day next year? Well, here it has to be coming from the students' perspective. It has to come from the students' perspective. Okay, so why students should go to next year? Very easy. They can gain some knowledge. They can meet new friends. It is beneficial. The activities can make them happy. All right, so these are some of the answers, acceptable answers. All right, so here are some practices that we can do together. Let's look at sample number 1. Organizers should hold the event again because it is beneficial. Because it is beneficial. This student is trying to answer C13. Are you going to award this point? Okay, I am not going to award this point. Why? Because it's irrelevant. Because of the word organizer. Remember, for C13, it is why students should go, not why the organizer should hold the event again. So it's quite irrelevant. We are not going to award C13 here. Let's go for sample number 2. More students must join it because they will feel what I feel. Okay, again, it's trying to answer C13. Are you going to award marks for C13 here? Okay, so to me, I won't accept it. Why? Because it's a bit very vague. What do you mean by you will feel what I feel when I clearly didn't state what I feel, my feelings in my essay? So we totally don't award this point. Okay, next. So for sample number 3, the best memory of the Go Green Day is you can happy with my family and you can have many experience. So clearly, the person is trying to answer C12. So are you going to accept this point? Okay, so if you look at the whole sentence, it does make sense. Am I right? So you see the students also use the keyword best memory. However, it is still not accepted because it is irrelevant. Look at the question here. It says your best memory. But the problem is the student use you can be happy, which is contradicting. As if like this writer knows what the reader's mind. So I think it is irrelevant. Therefore, we don't award C12. How about the next sentence? When go green, I promise it is worth it. It is worth it. C13. Are you going to award this point? Okay. So to me, when the word worth it is as if that those who join this event, they are going to get some benefits from it. So clearly, we accept C13. Okay. Let's go for sample number 4, last one. The best memory of the Go Green Day was after the event. We went to McDonald's and have lunch. I think students should go to the Go Green Day event next year because it has a lot of fun and it will help us. Okay, let's go for the first one. We went to McDonald's and have lunch. The best memory is we went to McDonald's and have a lunch. So trying to answer C12. Do you accept this? Okay, now we have to understand that your best memory of the Go Green Day, okay? So even though, because we can see that going to McDonald's is after the event, we still accept it. Maybe the event is quite boring to them, but the best thing memory is that after the event, we still accept this because it's still within the Go Green Day, all right? Next, I think students should go to the Go Green Day next year because it has a lot of fun and it will help Earth. Now, clearly, this is very specific, very straightforward, and definitely will get C the Okay, I hope that you are very clear now how you are going to, how you're going to award marks to the content points in your students' essay. All right. Last one, language. I'm going to talk a little bit on language, yeah, because the next presenter is going to focus more on the language part. So I'm going to talk a little bit about language. Now, a lot of students or teachers, they might have this misconception saying that as long as the students can write beautifully or using a lot of idiomatic expressions, all the bombastic words in the essay, they will definitely get a high marks for their language. I think that is a bit wrong. This is the misconception that we all need to change. Because what is very important here in directed writing is the style and tone of the writing, whereby the students must be able to differentiate between formal and informal language. Now, we are all aware that in writing, in directed writing, these are the types of writing that we are focusing on, okay? And we must always remind our students saying that different writings have different language. Like for formal letter and report, it has to be formal language, whereas the rest must be informal language. I'm going to give you one example here. Say the student is going to write a letter for job application, yeah? And I have two students here, student A and student B, okay? And let's read students B. So here are some phrases used by students B in his essay. Okay, for example, I can work on Saturdays if you like. I can wait to hear from you. I can't wait to hear from you. If you want to talk to me, I can come and see you anytime you like. So let's look at A. I'm available for work on Saturdays. I look forward to hearing from you. I'm available for an interview at your convenience. Now, if you look at both students here, students A, students B, clearly the grammar is perfect. Nothing wrong. It's excellent, right? But if you look at the wordings or the phrases used by students B, it's a bit, to me, a bit impolite, a bit informal if we want to write a letter to apply for a job. As opposed to students A, there is more polite, it's more formal in terms of the language. And therefore, if say this question is coming out and we are going to award language marks, we will definitely award higher marks for students A because it's more appropriate. It reflects the real life writing in our daily life, okay? So therefore, it's not necessary that you have to have bombastic words when it comes to writing directly. Right? It's more to like how it reflects or how does it, whether it comes very close to the real life writing or not. Okay, and therefore idiomatic expression like contracted form is only used in informal language and all those bombastic words that students learn in the class. Okay, so I hope that you are very clear now about the language part. Okay, so it's not necessarily good words, good vocabulary, they will get high marks. Okay, we are looking at the grammar as well as the style and the tone that will determine whether the students have higher marks or lower marks. Okay, so that's all from me for directed writing. Okay, so I'll pass the floor to the next presenter.
Hello, can you hear me? Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I am Mr. Max or Mr. Lee from SMK Tinggi SARIKEI. A great explanation and sharing session from Mr. Johnny just now. So let's move on to 1119, English Paper 1, Section B, Continuous Writing. So this is my presentation content. First, I will talk about the SPM English Paper 1, Section B, where I will go through the 5 questions. And then I will go through the marking scheme for Section B, Then we will look into language band A, B, C, D, E, and U1, U2, and U3. So let's look at the question in SPM English Paper 1, Section B. So there are 5 questions, and students have to choose one. And the word range is more than 350 words. And let's analyze the question one by one. So for question 1, if you had the chance to be someone else, who would you choose to be? Explain what would be good about being that person and what might be difficult. So here, please note that a chance to be someone else, it can be anybody, but cannot be me. Okay, you cannot write, I want to be myself. And that person must be identified. It must be a person and not an object or a thing. Number 2, what is good about being that person? And number 3, what might be difficult? So students have to address these 3 layers of questions in their writing. Okay, let's look at question number 2. Modern inventions have made our lives much too complicated. Things used to be a lot simpler in the past. How far do you agree? Explain why. So first, students have to write about modern inventions, and then they have to write about why modern inventions making their lives complicated. And 3, they have to write the things in the past are a lot simpler. So they have to address the past and the present in their essay. Okay, let's look at question number 3. Write a story about 2 people who had an argument because one of them had lost a mobile phone. End your story with, and they both realized how foolish they had been. So the first one, students have to write 2 people, not 1, but 2 people who had an argument. And then they have to write one of them had lost a mobile phone. And then they have to write, in the end, they realized how foolish they had been. So there are 2 main characters in this story, and mobile phone must be in the composition. Okay, question number 4. Which do you think is more important, money or health? Compare the 2 and decide if one is more important than the other. Give your reasons. So first, they have to address, is money more important or health is more important? And the third one is they have to decide which one is more important. So they must choose one. A decision has to be made. If their decision is both are important, then we can conclude that is their decision. But a decision has to be made. Okay, question 5. Write about the day you first met your best friend. Describe where you were and how you began talking to each other. Explain how your friendship has developed since that time. So the first layer is met your best friend. The second one is where you were and how you began talking. And the third one is you have to write how the friendship is developed after that. So you are describing a scenario and how the friendship has grown. Now, if you look at all these 5 questions, to sum up this part, as you can see, all questions have 3 embedded layers in them. Since 2013, there is no more one-word essay. And since 2016, there is no essay question on proverbs anymore. And starting 2017, essays, types of questions like expository, persuasive. So there are more subject matters to be addressed. Yeah, like you can see just now, 3. So rather than last time, for example, 2015, we have questions like, why is having good neighbors important? Discuss. So that is pretty easy, yeah, very wide. But we see the requirement of the questions are getting very specific now. So in my opinion, they do this because they want to avoid students memorizing essays where they just blurted out blindly at the exam hall. And it is very important to construct items relevant to the latest SPM structure. Not only students are exposed to it, we as teachers can also mark students' writing more accurately. Okay, now let's move on to the marking scheme for section B. So marks are awarded as follow. There is no content-based mark like section A just now. So we are solely looking on the language. So assessment is based on impression. Read and reread the response, and at the same time underline gross and minor errors. Put insertion marks where errors occur. Mark for good vocabulary or expressions by putting a merit tick above such merits. So you will see a lot of merit ticks in Band A and B essays. Fit the candidate's response against the most appropriate band. Having most of the criteria is found in the band. Refer to the upper or lower bands to the band already chosen to best fit the student's response to the most appropriate band. So this is what we are doing today. We will fit the response to an appropriate band. And then justify the band and marks given, commenting on the strengths and weaknesses of the candidate's response using the criteria found in the band. So let's look at the criteria. So we have A until U3. So this is the marking scheme for section B. I have to mention here that this afternoon we will focus on getting the right band. I will not show a full essay due to the time constraint. It will take days. So by showing you a paragraph or a few paragraphs later on, then I will explain or justify the language band assigned to it. So here, take note that I will not show you the marks because we can't award marks just based on 1 or 2 paragraphs. Marks can only be awarded after reading the whole composition, and we give impression as a whole. So we have, for each band, we have high A, mid A, low A, and then high B, mid B, low C, and same goes to the rest of the bands. So after reading the whole essay, then you can award either it is high A, mid A, or low A. So low A would be 44, 45, and 46, 47, and then high A would be 48, 49, and 50. But since we are doing one paragraph today for each band, then we will only have to identify the band correctly. Okay, let's give it a try. So this one is question 1. A chance to be someone else, what would be good and what might be difficult. So this is the language band. So normally, how would you mark? Okay, let's just read this together. It is true that every cloud has a silver lining, because in life, it is impossible if we do not have any problem, no matter how happy we look like. Being Ariana Grande, so this is someone else, being Ariana Grande is not as easy as we think. She once said to the media that once we have already be a famous person, we will get controlled by the citizens. They become so judgmental in everything that she was doing and quickly critique her if she do something that is wrong. Nowadays, there are so many people that become keyboard warriors. They leave hate comments and criticize without thinking what they are doing going to make the receiver feel blue and worse until becoming depressed. It is hard because they cannot live like what normal people do and faking themselves. She has to take time to become a positive person and did not take seriously on what other people said to her. All right. So which band would you like to give? Okay, let's go through the mistakes first. So it is true that every cloud has a silver lining, so it serves no purpose here if you read through the sentence, because in life, it is impossible if you do not have many problems, or no matter how happy we look like. So you don't need that idiom in this sentence because it serves no purpose. So I would rather start the sentence or the paragraph with, in life, it is impossible not to have any problem, no matter how happy we seem. Okay, being Ariana Grande is not as easy as we think, so that is correct. She once said to the media that once we become famous, so we will get controlled by the citizen. So it doesn't sound right. We are scrutinized by the public. They become so judgmental. They have become so judgmental in everything that she does, and quickly critic. So critic is wrong here. Criticize her if she does anything wrong. Okay, next sentence. Nowadays, there are so many people that become keyboard warriors. So there are so many people who have become keyboard warriors. So keyboard warriors is it's not suitable here. So a more suitable phrase would be online haters. They leave hate comments, so hateful comments, and criticize without thinking what they are doing going to. So without thinking that they make the receiver, okay, feel blue is not suitable here, feel sad, and worse, and even worse, okay, until becoming depressed. So no need, and even worse, comma, depressed. It is hard because they cannot live like normal people do. Okay, it sounds strange here. They cannot live in the way all people do. Okay, and end up faking themselves. She has to take time to become a positive person, and did. So did is wrong, change to does. Not take seriously on what other people said to her. So something wrong here. I would not take what other people have said about her seriously. So after going through this paragraph, okay, you would see a lot of vocabulary not being used accurately. So if you look at the mistakes, they are quite frequent. So that is why the band is E, okay, meaning it's never in doubt, but errors are very frequent. Do you get it correct? Okay, next. So now I will start with U3 first, and then all going up to A. So for each band, I will give you 2 samples, and towards the end of the presentation, we will try to do 2 exercises. So for U3, it's 0 until 7 marks. So the criteria for U3 is it is almost entirely impossible to read. Whole sections make little or no sense at all. Marks should be awarded if patches of clarity occur. So here, if any patches of clarity, any sense that you get, you should award marks. So the mark 0 should only be given if the composition makes no sense at all. So let's look at this example. So this one is question number 2. Modern inventions complicate our lives. Things in the past are simpler. So modern inventions have made our lives much complicated. Okay, this one is copied from the rubric. Things used to be a lot simpler in the past. Okay, this one is also from the rubric. So we don't give marks for plain copying from the rubrics. Modern are batch this because kids batch this very focused the gadget. Okay, so if you look at this type of sentence, you know, yeah, it breaks down already. But you kind of get a sense where kids, focus, gadget, modern. Yeah, you kind of get a sense the topic is still addressed, but it's very blurred. Next, gadgets are very focused for kids and the parents. Okay, so the idea here is being repeated, but then add another one, the parents. Gadget not very good for kids because kids are forget the subject school and focus the study and everything. Yeah, so it is hard to read, but you get the sense of it. And the last one, kids not go to school because are very focused at the gadget. Okay, we understand this one. Lastly, gadget are very, very impossible for kids. Okay, this one is very blurred. Okay, what is the meaning of gadgets are very impossible for kids? So if you get a script like this in your class, and it will definitely fall under U3, almost entirely impossible to read. So U here stands for unclassified, okay? So U3. So based on the sense here, marks should be awarded if patches of clarity occur. Okay, let's look at another example. U3, question 5. First time meeting your best friend. How the friendship has developed. They has to develop since that time. Okay, so this one clearly is very blurred. My family would like I and she is the best friend. Okay, so basically you understand, okay, you have the character a girl and the writer, and the family would like them to be a best friend. But the language, the structure here is it breaks down. We can help anyone, can shoot the help. Okay, this one is very blurred. So home, at home, I and she to location area in Taman Indah. So basically you get the sense that they live in Taman Indah. My family and she family hope we the best friend. Okay, so this is the same idea with this one, except for her family. A good friend. Okay, the anytime she can give I money about I no have a money. Okay, so you get the sense that the writer doesn't have money and the girl lent it to him. She's so good if I and she and use it car to go into school. Again, you get the sense, but you cannot really read it properly. So the whole sections make little sense only. So if you see the structure or the language is like this, they would definitely fall under U3. Okay, so far so good. Let's go to U2. So U2 is 8 until 13. So U2, some sense will usually be decipherable. So again, this one is sense, but errors are multiple in nature, requiring the reader to read and reread before the meaning becomes clear. So if you read it a couple of times, then the meaning will become clear. So there may only be a few accurate but simple sentences. So here you might find a few accurate simple sentences. The content of writing may be comprehensible, but meaning is blurred due to high incidence of errors. Yeah, just like U3 just now, you still get the meaning is blurred. The composition may also be far short of the required number of words. So if candidate write less than 1 page, so normally they will fall under this band. Yeah, less than a page. So normally if I see the students write less than a page, then I will count. If it is less than 300, then I'll put it under U2. Okay, so let's go to U2. Question 4 is about money or health. Which one is more important? So healthy can let us happy. Money only let us happy in a moment. So sentence separation error occurs. So, but then you understand health, being healthy, yeah, can make us happy. Having money can let us happy maybe for a while. So have a healthy body, we can do many things like running, swimming, climbing, and others. So this one is pretty clear, okay? So by having a healthy body, we can do many things like running, swimming, climbing, and more. Okay, those are simple things to feel happy, but money cannot. Okay, this one it breaks down. Okay, the one at the back, but money cannot. Okay, so those are simple things for us to be happy. Okay, but not with money. If we have healthy body, we can watch the world's beautiful spot. Okay, so this is the blurring part here. So what is the writer trying to say? Yeah, the world's beautiful spot. Is it a place or is it something else? If we are healthy, we can more chance to win and tall. Okay, this is blur. But if we have money, there was no chance to change a healthy body. So you get the sense here. If you have money, then maybe you can have a chance, or you don't have a chance to have a healthy body. So it's very blur. You only get the sense. So why is it under U2 and not U3? Because we have a good sentence here. Okay, by having a healthy body, we can do many things like running, swimming, climbing, and others. Okay, and for the other part, if you reread, then you can basically guess. Okay, so there may be only a few accurate but simple sentences, and the content may be comprehensible, but the meaning is still blurred because of the high incidence of errors. Okay, let's look at another sample. Okay, this one is money or health. Which one is more important? At Malaysia, the minister planned a Hari Sukan Negara to people join together for behave a healthy. So in Malaysia, so the minister had organized Hari Sukan Negara for people to join and to be healthy. And not many to people for join activities because so busy for working, spend time with family and watching television. Okay, this one is pretty good. Yeah, you can understand. Yeah? Okay, next, the student of university must to call the people to join and go to the fit and healthy program. Yeah, so you get the sense here. Students from university, they must invite people to join fitness program. So at home, also people can do exercise with watching an exercise program to stay the fit. Okay, so you understand. Yeah, at home, people can do exercise by watching fitness program to stay fit. Okay, people have a fat is not healthy. So probably people with obesity are not healthy. If someone has not do exercise, and people can become sick. Yeah, you understand. If they don't do exercise, they will be sick. Healthy is very important to all the people at world, because if all people sick, who want to help some people has sick? Again, so you get the sense. Yeah, the sense is very clear here. If everyone is sick, then who is going to take care of us? Yeah, sick. So here we don't have much blurring like U3 just now, but then you get a lot of sense. Yeah, but then if you look at the sentence structure, it has all gone haywire. Okay, next, let's look at U1. U1 is 14 until 19. Meaning is fairly clear, but then you still see high incidence of errors where it impedes reading. Yeah, meaning you have to stop. It is not a pleasant read. Many serious errors of various kinds throughout the composition. So you will find a lot of single word errors, and they could be corrected without rewriting the whole sentence. Yeah, unlike U2 and U3 just now, you have to change the whole sentence. When U1, you can correct them without rewriting the whole sentence. Very few accurate sentences. Okay, you can still spot a few, but not many. Sentences are simple and very often repetitive. Although communication is established, frequent errors may cause blurring. So this one you see, may. And sometimes you may still see blurring in U1. Punctuation is sometimes correct, but sentence separation errors may occur. Okay, here you might still see sentence separation errors. And then paragraphs lack unity, and there may not be any paragraphs at all. So the candidate here, they may write one paragraph, one very long paragraph, but if the language and the meaning is fairly clear, you can actually put it under U1. Okay, so let's look at U1, question 1. A chance to be someone else. What would be good? What might be difficult? My mom now at hospital. My mom was at hospital. She's sick more than 3 months, and I sad when I see my mom at hospital. So you understand? See, you have the language structure here is quite stable, but you still have to change a little bit. She was sick for more than 3 months, and I was sad when I saw my mom at hospital. As you can see, the structure you don't change, but you just add in or you change one word error. Okay, that is why I want to helping my family to getting money and pay my younger brother's school PIBG. Okay, the structure is okay, but then that is why I want to help my family to earn money and pay for my younger brother's school, either school PIBG fees or school fees. Next, my father always support me to be success, and I will do my father proud of me one day. Okay, the structure is pretty okay, but then the errors are here. My father always supports me in achieving success, and I will not do but make my father proud of me one day. My father is my hero because he always gives me stronger. Okay, so you can see he always gives me strength, and he always care about my mom at hospital. He always cares about my mom at hospital. Okay, so a lot of single word errors. Okay, and then that is why it falls under U1. Okay, meaning is fairly clear. Yeah, you don't have to read a lot. You don't have to read twice to understand what the student is trying to say. But then there are still a lot of high incidence of errors and many serious errors of various kinds. Yeah, so you have a problem with subject-verb agreement, and then you will have this two infinitives, and then between past tense and present tense. And there are very few accurate sentences, and it's very simple. Yeah, the sentences are very simple and very often competitive. So for example, this one, very short and simple. So punctuation is sometimes correct, and paragraphs lack unity. Okay, or there may not be any paragraphs at all. Let's look at another example. Okay, question 4, money or health? Which one is more important? Firstly, what is more important between money and health? Okay, so which one is more important, comma, money or health? Okay, in my opinion, I will more prefer to take health is more important. In my opinion, I would prefer, okay, to take, no need, I would prefer health as being more important. This is because health can give money, while money cannot buy health. Okay, you understand, but then there's errors here. Health cannot give you money. How do you change it? Health can allow us to earn money, while money cannot buy health. Yeah, that's true. This is because a healthy person can do many jobs, and they will find the money after they do the job. So this is because a healthy person can do many jobs, and they would earn money after they do the job. Maybe change to from doing the jobs. Okay, other than that, the money are not grow on itself. So you understand. But then something is not quite right here. The money does not grow by itself. We need to work for them. We need to work for it, yeah, for the money. Then it will grow and become bigger amount. It will grow a bigger amount. Money cannot buy health because health are not to sell and buy. Okay, so something wrong with this one, but then you understand, because health is not for sale. So normally if I see students, if you see they can write the first half of the sentence is quite okay, but then normally it breaks down towards the end because they cannot control the command of language. So normally if I see this type of sentence, then it will definitely fall under U1. Yeah, the first part is okay, but then the second part, it breaks down. Okay, let's look at E right now. So E, meaning is never in doubt. So never in doubt means you don't have to reread. Yeah, just read it slowly, then you will understand. But then errors are sufficiently frequent and serious to hamper reading. Yeah, it slows you down. Some simple structures may be accurate, but accuracy is not sustained for long. Yeah, so this one is not sustained for long, just like you want. And here vocabulary is limited, too simple to convey precise meaning, or more ambitious but imperfectly understood. So some here, they can use quite a lot of vocabulary, simple ones, but sometimes when they are more ambitious, then it will become imperfectly understood. And simple words may be spelled accurately, but frequent mistakes make reading the composition difficult. Yeah, it is very difficult to read. That is why for E, you have to read it very slow. Paragraphs lack unity and are poorly organized, and the subject matter shows some relevance to the topic, but only a partial treatment is given. So sometimes the students might forget, like just now when I showed you the 3-layer questions, they might just answer the first 2 and they forgot about the third one. So if that happens, then it will fall under E, the mark range E. And high incidence of linguistic errors, and it distracts the reader from merits of content of the piece of writing. Yeah. So basically, I would say for E students who are in this range, yeah, it makes you very difficult to read. Yeah. So let's look at this example. Question 5. First time meeting your best friend, and then how the relationship, how the friendship has developed. Every morning, my mother will take me there, and after she finished her job at 6 p.m., she will come to fetch me. So basically, if you read it quite fast, you might not be able to identify the mistake. But if you read it quite slow, okay, my mother would take me, it would be would bring me there, and after she finished her job at 6 p.m., comma, yeah, she would come to fetch me. But there was one morning when I was at my aunt's house. Okay, so here is aunt's house. So you change aunt's house. And then a white car stopped in front of my aunt's house. So you need something here. And a white car stopped in front, spelling of it. Okay, a minute later, a woman and a boy comes out from the car and greet my aunt, and she said, "Hi, I am Mrs. He. This is my son." And my aunt said, "Hello, so you are the one in the phone call?" So if you read here, okay, you can understand it very clearly. That is why meaning is never in doubt. But then, of course, there are quite a number of errors. A minute later, a woman and a boy, okay, got out of the car, okay, and greeted my aunt. And she said, "Hi, I'm Mrs. He." Yeah, we need a full stop here. Full stop. "This is my son." And then omission, comma. And my aunt said, omission, comma, "Hello, so you are the one in the phone call? So you are the person who phoned?" Okay, next. The woman replied, okay, "Yes." Okay, the full stop should be inside, not outside. After a few moments, comma, the woman drive, past tense. The woman drove away and left the boy there. That is the day, that was the day when I met my best friend. His name was Yu Qing Hung. Sentence separation occur here. Okay, and he was 4 months younger than me. Yeah, okay. So you don't have to change a lot, but you see a lot of single word errors. But then the good thing is if you read an E script or an E essay, you can read it quite okay. Yeah, unlike just now, U1, U2, and U3, we are struggling to understand. But here is pretty okay. Yeah, the problem here is just some tenses, and the vocabulary is also not bad. Yeah, and then what we know here is accuracy is not sustained for long. Yeah, but then you do see some structure are good. Like, this is my son, and my aunt said hello, so you are the person who called. So this student can write a compound sentence with little mistakes. So that is what differentiating between U1 and E. If U1, the first half of the sentence might be correct, but then you see it slowly breaks down. But E, the structure here is very solid and quite stable. Okay, so this is the example that we have gone through just now, the one on Ariana Grande. So as you can see, the vocabulary is limited here. Okay, do you still remember just now keyboard warriors? Yeah, so and then every cloud has a silver lining. So some teachers sometimes when they look at this one say, wow, the students can use this one. But you have to ask yourself, are they imperfectly understood? Okay, if they are, then they might fall in band E. Yeah. Don't be blown away by the bombastic words or the good phrases, but you have to ask yourself, do they use it correctly? Okay, let's move on to the next band, D, 26 until 31. So the description of criteria in D, the language is sufficiently accurate to communicate meaning clearly to the reader. There will be patches of clear, accurate language, especially when simple vocabulary and structures are used. So here you will see patches of clear, accurate language. So patches here means 2 or 3 sentences back to back. So you have one patch. So please know that it is clear, accurate language. Yeah, no mistakes at all, especially when simple vocabulary and structures are used. So there may be some variety of sentence length and type, but the purpose is not clearly seen. So here they might try to use a variety of sentence length, but then it will cause mistake. So vocabulary is adequate enough to show intended meaning, but it's not developed to show precision. Yeah, so they might be able to use vocabulary, but it's not well developed. It's not specific. Punctuation is generally correct, but does not clarify meaning. Simple words are spelled accurately, but more spelling errors will occur. Paragraphs are used but show lack of planning or unity, and the topic is addressed with some relevance, but it may be lacking in liveliness and interest value. So you might read quite a good essay, but then it may not be fully relevant, and then you have no interest value to read the second time. Okay, let's look here. Question number 5, first time meeting your best friend. How the friendship has developed. Okay, Grace was a poor girl. Okay, correct. Yeah? She had lost her parents in an accident. Yeah, so only one accident. Okay, since then, her grandmother had become her only relative, her only family. Life was not a bed of roses for Grace. Okay, not bad. After school, she had to help her grandmother. We don't need here sell. No need to. Just help her grandmother sell nasi lemak in a food stall near hawker center. Many of our classmates did not want to be friends with her, as they thought she was not the same level with them. So not the same level is not accurate, not the same class as them. However, I felt sympathy on what was happening towards her. I felt some sympathy for what, okay, this one is wrong, should not be a progressive, what happened with her and wanted to be with her. Soon we became best friends. Okay, so language is sufficiently accurate, okay, to communicate meaning clearly to the reader. And do you see patches of clear, accurate language here? Yeah, it's very accurate and very clear, quite a big chunk here. And there may be some variety of sentence length, yeah, but the purpose is not clearly seen. You don't see students in D band, they will try to play with the language. No. And the vocabulary is adequate. Yeah, okay, not bad. Yeah, but definitely will not, yeah, you will not reward a merit tick yet. Just okay. Let's look at another example. Okay, first time meeting your best friend and how the friendship has developed. Okay, I was usually a city girl in Kuala Lumpur. Okay, no mistake. My father was provided a higher post in Malacca. Okay, you understand. But then we don't normally say my dad was provided a higher post in somewhere else. Okay, how do we say it? Had been promoted to Malacca. Okay, this is the correct word to use. So I had to transfer to Malacca. Okay, we don't transfer to Malacca, but we move. Yeah. Also, I had to move to Malacca to continue my education in secondary school. Drove from my house. Okay, I
Yeah, hello everybody. Yeah, we wait for a while, yeah. I don't know what's happening. Hi guys. Apparently my brother continued to talk, so let me just drag him over to my room. I think he thought he was all right. Anyway, guys, you remember the download link that we had just now? So I have just uploaded the two files that we had, the two files from shared by the two presenters. So since we are waiting for my brother to get back online, please click on the link and download the file while we are waiting for my brother, right? It's the same link with the one that you had just now.
Hello, hello.
All right,
Hello?
so you're back, right?
Yeah, so where did I stop just now?
E, I remember.
Oh, E, not yet D.
No, I don't think you were at D just now. It was at
Oh,
E.
okay. So I have to go back.
Yeah.
Okay. So can I continue?
Yeah, sure. Sorry.
Is my screen on?
I can see yours now.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Sorry, just now I don't know that we are disconnected. Okay, let's go to D. Question 5. Yeah. First time meeting your best friend. How the friendship has developed. Okay, so Grace was a poor girl. Okay, correct. She had lost her parents in an accident. So, an accident. Since that, her grandmother had become her only relative. Her grandmother had become, since then, her grandmother had become her only family. Life was not a bed of roses for Grace. Okay. After school, she had to help her grandmother to sell nasi lemak, in a food stall near hawker center. Many of our classmates did not want to be friends with her, as they thought she was not the same level with them, not the same class as them. However, I felt sympathy on what was happening towards her. I felt sympathy for what had happened, for what happened with her, and wanted to be with her. Soon we became best friends. Okay, not bad. So here we can see the language is sufficiently accurate. The meaning is clear. And we see patches of clear, accurate language. No mistakes here. No mistakes at all. And if you look at the other sentences, the mistakes are okay. Yeah, not very serious. Yeah, probably a slip. Yeah, if this student, if he or she reads again, I'm definitely sure he or she will be able to correct it. Okay, next, let's look at another sample. Okay, it's the same question. First time meeting your best friend, how the friendship has developed. I was usually a city girl in Kuala Lumpur. Okay, correct. My father was provided to a higher post in Malacca. Okay, so we know this one is a little bit awkward. So my father had been promoted to Malacca. So I had to transfer to Malacca to continue my education in secondary school. So students, we don't say student transfer to Malacca, but move to Malacca. To continue education, to continue my studies in secondary school. My new school was a stone's throw from my house. Okay, good. I expected the students in Malacca would be friendly. So I had expected the students in Malacca would be friendly and helpful. I felt so disappointed after that. So we need something to connect here. So I felt so disappointed after that incident. It's not very clear what incident the student is referring to. So maybe upon entering the school, feeling very disappointed, I searched high and low for my classroom. Well, high and low here is not really suitable because high and low is used if you are in a small area such as your house, probably your room. Search high and low for my mobile phone. But if you're looking for the classroom, then you will say I search everywhere or search the school for my classroom. Finally, I reached my classroom, 5-STEM 1. The monitor of the class arranged me. Okay, arrange is not suitable. So what is more suitable? Assign. Assign me to sit at the last row of the class. I was grateful as I was an introvert. Okay, not bad. And I would not want too much attention from the teachers. Good. To my surprise, there was a bag beside me. Good. I guess my deskmate was a boy. Good. As he was using a black plastic bottle. Okay, good. I didn't have a good sleep. Didn't have a good sleep. Maybe you can change to I didn't sleep well, as I was too worried about that day. Yeah? Before the teacher came in, I decided to have a nap. So again, the language is sufficiently accurate, and you see patches of clear, accurate language here. Yeah, no mistakes. So normally this is my clue. If I want to identify if my student's essay is under D, I will have to look for this patch. Yeah, if I cannot find it, then you have to give lower than D. If you can find it, yeah, don't give it a D first. You read again. Can you still see mistakes here? If you can see it, then probably you overlooked it at the first time. So if I see it again, then probably go down to E. But for these two paragraphs, I would say this is a clear D band. Okay, let's look at C. So for C, the language is largely accurate, and simple structures are used without error, and mistakes may occur when more sophisticated structures are attempted. And sentences show some variety of length and structure. Yeah, but then there's a tendency to repeat some sentences types, giving it a monotonous effect. So the monotonous effect means the language, the errors, there are not a lot of errors, but then when you keep on reading this type of essay band, then you will feel bored. Okay, vocabulary is wide. Yeah, wide meaning they are able to use good vocabulary. And then punctuation is accurate, and spelling also accurate, but errors occur when more sophisticated words are used. If they use sophisticated words, then you will see errors. But for simple words, no errors. So paragraphs may show some unity. Writing is relevant. And then the topic is addressed with consistent relevance. Yeah, here, consistent relevance. All three layers just now, they are being addressed. And some interest is aroused, but not sustained. Okay, let's look at this example. Question number 2. Modern inventions complicate our lives. Things in the past are simpler. Okay, the discovery of modern inventions have increased the cost of research. Okay, I think this one is a slip. Okay, the discovery of modern invention has increased the cost of research. As a result of this, new products are sold at a much higher price than it used to be. So then they used to be. For example, a simple Nokia flip phone would cost about 500, but the latest iPhone model costs over 5,000. Okay, good. That is almost 10 times more expensive than it already is. So here is a little bit awkward. More expensive than phones sold in the past. In order to keep up with this expensive trend, people tend to get a loan. People tend to get loans from banks and moneylenders to purchase these items. So the vocabulary, as you can see here, is very wide. People always forget that the reason they get a loan is because they are unable to afford it. So you don't get a loan, you ask for a loan. Okay, so because they are unable to afford it, so here is a little bit vague. And to afford what? To afford the latest technology. All that they ever think of when getting a loan is that they want to get hold of that expensive item. So this is what we mean by largely accurate. So in one paragraph, yeah, you can only see a few mistakes. Yeah, one. And then all the other mistakes, they are just not very accurate, but then the grammar is okay. So I would say the C band, the students, their tenses are very good. Yeah, they don't have this problem. But D, yeah, sometimes you can see they make mistakes. But in C level, the tenses are very good. That's why if I find a lot of tense problem in an essay, then I will not put it at C first. But if you read throughout the paragraph, the tense are very stable, then you can definitely put in C. And if you look at the vocabulary, it's okay. Why? Yeah. And the sentences show some variety of length. Yeah. So you have simple, and then you have compound, and sometimes you can see complex. Yeah, here. This one is compound. Complex is here. Yeah. All right. So let's look at the second example. So question 4: money or health? Which one is more important? Okay. If we think again, why do you want to buy fancy sport car? Okay, spelling here, sports. And jewelries, uncountable jewelry, when we can save those money. Okay, money is uncountable, that money for future purposes, and just live a moderate life. Okay, due to our high ego, due to our over-inflicted egos, most of us like to show our richness, to show off our richness and gain popularity. As I have said, the friends you have during your good times are not necessarily your true friends. Now, that's very true. If we really want to get a true friend, we should get a friend who is like a mirror. Okay, why? When we are happy, they are happy. When we are sad, they are sad. Okay, not bad. Money cannot buy us true friends, but good health can help us to build a strong friendship. Okay, friendship is uncountable, so you don't need the word Why? This is because if we are healthy, we will get to spend more time with our friends. Okay, this one is a very solid C. As you can see, the language is largely accurate, and the tenses are very good. Okay, now let's move on to B. So B, the language is accurate, but then you can still find occasional errors, minor errors or first draft slips. And the sentences show some variation of length and type. So sometimes you can find complex sentences. And here the vocabulary is definitely wide enough to convey intended shades of meaning. Yeah, so they can use very good vocabulary with some precision. Okay, punctuation is okay, accurate. Spelling, accurate. Paragraphs, they are okay, well linked. And the piece of writing is definitely relevant. And the interest is definitely aroused and sustained. Yeah, so B, let's see. Okay, this one is question 3. 2 people having argument because one of them had lost a mobile phone. Okay, the first paragraph. God Lian, what is wrong with you? Okay, why are you making a total mess here? Okay, Umi's face was a bright shade of red, and she dragged God Lian aside to not further cause nuisance to the other passengers. Okay, so this is a pretty good paragraph, but then not further cause, probably omit the word further, not cause nuisance to the other passengers. Okay, Umi, I can't find my mobile phone. God Lian's face was white. He was so anxious that big beads of sweat rolled down his cheeks. Okay, so here just now nuisance is good. This one is also pretty good. Yeah? He scrambled. We need a preposition here. He scrambled for his bags. Okay, fumbled. Okay, good vocab. Fumbled in his pockets, and even tip. Tip is another word, another good vocab. Tip luggage upside down, but Alice, his mobile phone was missing. Okay, if you look at this sentence, it's very good. Despite some mistakes here, in which I think a lot of us would do this kind of mistakes also. So this student is able to use scramble, fumble, and tip, to describe the situation where God Lian is finding his mobile phone. Seeing that they had 20 minutes more, no need 20 minutes, until they boarded the plane, Umi pitched in pitch in. 2. Search for her cousin's mobile phone. Umi went to the lost and found corner to see if anyone had picked up his phone, but the attendant at the counter only shook his head. God Lian was running all over the place to see if he had dropped his mobile phone anyway, yet he prevailed. Okay, so here maybe it's not very accurate, but to no avail. Yeah, he couldn't find his phone. So if you look at this B, you will see sentences show some variation of length and type. Yeah, especially here. Yeah, you can see the student is doing better compared to C. Yeah, the structure of the sentence. Okay, let's look at another example. Question number 5. First time meeting your best friend, how the friendship has developed. Okay, I never really knew her. Okay, she was just a girl across the street to me. Oh, okay. But I see her every day, yet we never talked. Okay, so here we have yet, so probably we omit the but. And then I see her every day, spelling, yeah. I see her every day, yet we never talk. Okay, what a funny story. Okay, not bad. Yeah, so I'm intrigued. Anyway, I stopped daydreaming because my doorbell rang. Okay, I went down to open the door, wondering all the while who could it be? Who it could be. It was just the postman. Oh, okay. He handed me a parcel with my name on it, and I signed the paperwork to prove I had received the package. As he left, and I was turning around to head back inside, okay, good, the sound of a car arriving made me hold my horses. Yeah, hold my horses here, I think is a very awkward here. Okay, so probably made me hesitate or made me stop. It was a taxi. Oh, okay. So the sound of the car is from a taxi. And out came the girl. Okay, good. Struggling to carry what seemed like a ton of plastic bags. Okay, this sentence is okay. Yeah, good. Immediately as the taxi left, I walked across the street towards her house. Yeah. So as you can see, the language here is accurate. Yeah. You only have some minor first draft slips here and there. Yeah, but overall, the language is accurate. So how do I differentiate between B and C? So in C, it's very hard to find merit ticks, yeah, especially in language. But in B, you start to see a few, yeah, where they play with words to make their story more interesting or to make their factual essay more solid for us to read. So what about the next one, A? So I think everyone wants to reach here. The language is entirely accurate, but then we still see occasional first draft slips. And then the sentence structure is varied, and the candidate is able to use various types of sentences to achieve a particular effect. So this one is very important. So they need to use various types of sentences, and then when you read it, you really enjoy it. And then vocabulary shows some sophistication and is used with precision. Very good vocabulary. Yeah, and the punctuation is accurate, very helpful. Spelling is of course accurate. Paragraphs, very good. Topic, address, and the interest of the reader is aroused and sustained throughout the writing. Okay, let's look at the first example. So question number 2. Modern inventions complicate our lives. Things in the past are simpler. Okay, the evolution of humanity portrays how we no longer need much strength to swing through vines or carry heavy loads. Okay, if you read this one, it's okay lah, good. But then sometimes they do make mistakes, like spelling here, portrays. Yeah, and then need, we don't say much strength, but we need the strength to swing through vines or carry heavy loads. Okay, but then you understand, yeah, the evolution of humanity And now we no longer need to carry heavy loads because of technology. And then this is all because of all the inventions made millions of years ago. Good. Which shape our lives. Yeah, good. The first reason why things have become more complicated for us, okay, good phrases, is because new forms of modern inventions can be easily misused when put in the wrong hands. Yeah, for this sentence is very good, yeah, entirely accurate. So in China, the country has become safer with better surveillance systems. Okay, this is a good vocab, due to modern inventions. On the flip side, okay, this is good. This same system, which utilizes facial recognition, a very good vocabulary, is used to oppress the Muslim minority in Urumqi. Yeah, good example. This incident is a clear manifestation of the gloomy days. Yeah, good expression to come if these. Okay, so if you look at this half paragraph, we already know these students have a good command of language because the language is entirely accurate. So probably you have some slips here and there. And then the sentence structure is varied. Yeah, the candidate is able to use various types of sentences to achieve a particular effect. Yeah, here we can see it's very serious. Yeah, so here used on the flip side, and then he talks about the Muslim minority in Urumqi, China. So here the vocabulary is very sophisticated and is used with precision. That is why in A band essay, students, they are able to get a lot of merit ticks. Yeah, where you really agree. Yeah, when you are reading this one, then you will nod your head. Yeah, it's true. Oh yeah, this one is true also. Yeah. And then punctuation is accurate, spelling is accurate, and the topic is addressed with consistent relevance. Yeah, if you read this factual essay, we know that these students, he knows what he's talking about. Yeah, a very solid example here. Yeah, talking about modern inventions, what is complicating. Okay, next. Let's look at what about if students write a story in A-band, what would it be like? So here, the Robinsons have always been a respected lot. Okay, Mrs. Robinson was a nuclear scientist who had a no-nonsense attitude. Okay, good, no-nonsense attitude. And an upturned face that could make even a virus sick. Oh, okay, so this one is pretty funny. Yeah, so an upturned face that could make even a virus sick. So this is how we see students play with language, because this question is about meeting your first time meeting your best friend. Okay, Mr. Robinson was an experienced gardener who could coax life into even the most stubborn soil. So this one is also a very good expression. Yeah, the people of the little town of Hampshire took their words for everything. Even the mayor did too. Okay, so we know a lot about this family. After all, the family was simply drowning in gold. Okay, this is another very good expression. Yeah, but when the young teenager son Alan came along, he was simply too different from the rest of that horrid bunch. Yeah. So his eyes were always filled with that twinkle of mischief. Okay, good. And his face spoke of fantastical things only he could see. Yeah, he was a very imaginative and free-spirited fellow. Okay, good. He always trotting around, fooling about with his best friends, Johnny and Adrian. Yeah, so if you look at this introduction, we know that this candidate is trying to explain the Robinsons family and then the son, Alan. So after that, the story has become very interesting. But here we can see the language is entirely accurate. And then the candidate is able to use various types of sentences to achieve a particular effect. So when I read this essay, yeah, I can feel the the writer is trying to be playful with the language. So for narrative writing, award A if you think it can be published in storybooks. And I think this one can be published. Can this be in a storybook? Yes. The introduction has shown that the student is skillful and the sentence structure is varied. The vocabulary is also sophisticated. And of course, my interest is sustained. Okay, so if you look at this one, another one just now about the evolution. So you award A if they choose to write factual essay. If you think this one can be published in a Time magazine, a National Geographic magazine. If yes, then please give it an A. Yeah? If after you mark, you say, oh no, this one cannot be published, then it is definitely not an A. Yeah, the least is the low A, not even a solid A. Okay, so now I know I have exceeded the time, but let's try to do two exercise. So which language band do you think it is? Okay, so this is question number 4. Money or health? Yeah? Which one is more important? So I'll read. Furthermore, health is the things that we need to appreciate. This is because many peoples out there did not have any healthy health. This is because they just use it unwisely. For an example, they having some disease such as asthma and diabetes mellitus. This is shown when they do smoke and eating without control. They eat a fattening food and did not control the food that oily and not good for health. Money brings us to buy food and cigarettes. At this time, money cannot help us because money cannot buy health. Okay, so if you look at this one, try to identify the errors and then select a band here. Okay, now let's look at the mistakes first. Yeah, I think this one you can read after that. If you want to view this video again, you can go through the mistakes here. So based on the mistakes that you have seen, do you think you get the right band? Okay, so the band here is under U1. Okay, give yourself a clap if you get it correct. Okay, let's try the last question. Okay, it's the same question, money or health, which one is more important? Okay, so I'll read. Apart from that, money cannot buy us good health. Money can buy us medicines, but still not sure whether we can fully recover from the diseases that we are suffering. For instance, Datuk Lee Chong Wei, our Malaysia's badminton legend, decided to give up his badminton career to recover from his nose cancer. He realized that there is nothing more important than his own health. He even quit playing badminton just to recover. According to him, he said he can give up on everything, but not his health. Even though he is one of the richest athletes in Malaysia, he does not hesitate to let go his badminton career. After recovering, he still took things slowly and decided to maintain his own health. Now, he undergoes checkup frequently to ensure his health is in a satisfactory level. So which band do you think this is? Do you see merit ticks? Do you see good language structure? Yes or no? Okay, let's look at the mistakes identified. Okay, are suffering from. Okay, you don't have to use our Malaysia's badminton legend, no need our. recover from nose cancer. Okay, according to him, he said, he can give up on anything. One of the richest athletes, okay, one of the richest athletes, he does not hesitate in letting go of his badminton career and decided, okay, to maintain his health, to look after his own health. Okay, now he undergoes checkup frequently to ensure his health is good. Okay, after you see the errors, what band do you think this is? Okay, this is a C band. Okay, tense, okay, but then the language is only largely accurate. You don't see any good vocab here or good structure. Yeah, so there is no merit ticks here. So that is why it falls under C. Okay, next, I would like to share my opinions on section A and B. So both of them, they are equally important. Some teachers may focus more on section A, but then leaving section B all to students by themselves, resulting the students not knowing what to write in the exam. At the same time, some teachers focus too much on section B and asking students to memorize phrases, memorize paragraphs, sometimes even the whole essay, only to know that students, they are unable to understand the requirement of the question. So normally if I see my students, they memorize and then they write it in the exam, okay, the first thing I would do is I will refer to their section A. Yeah, so no matter how great the students write the language, they memorize in section B, like perfect, I will always go to section A to see any difference. So if there is a great vast difference, then I will make sure I will find their own language in section B, which I will pull down the marks to students. And I will tell them, if you want to have a good marks in section B, make sure you have a good language in section A. It must be good for both sections. So I think the best way to make sure that their section A and B is if make sure they are balanced rather than focusing just one part. Okay, and so I think a grade should not be compensation but communication. So giving the right grade and explaining the mistakes, the do's and don'ts to your students might just be the boost that they need to improve their writing. So normally I will, after I mark, I'll tell students, do you know that you can actually get a better grade if you do this? And that is why it's very important for us to give written feedback every time you have finished marking. So underlining and correcting their mistakes are very helpful also. If you just give marks, we don't correct their mistakes, they cannot help themselves also. So as you can see here, graded grains make finer rice. So before I end this session, I would like to say thank you to PBD SARIKEI and to the woman behind all this, SISC Plus, Madam Bridget Lee is also my sister. Thank you to my school, SMK Tinggi SARIKEI, my principal, Mr. Ting Sin Tek, all my English panel colleagues, and lastly, thank you to the people who have taught me how to mark, where we all meet once a year. You know who you are. Thank you. So that is all from me. Thank you for having me this afternoon. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. So this concludes our sharing for today. Thank you very much, Mr. Johnny. Thank you very much to Mr. Max Lee. Hopefully you all have learned something from our today's sharing. So once more, I would like to emphasize that you can watch this video once more when my colleague Cikgu Zainal uploaded it into his channel. So do subscribe to his channel so that you will get to see the latest video update. All right, so I'm showing to you right now the download link. So you can go there now and download the 2 files that have been shared by them. So inside will be all the slides that they have presented just now. So use it as you see fit. All right, so this is exactly the same slide that that is contained in the WhatsApp notification that we forwarded to you people. All right, next, this attendance doesn't work anymore because apparently SPL KPM is down for the whole day due to heavy traffic, I think. So I do need to trouble you guys instead. I need to trouble you guys instead to actually fill in this attendance form instead. This attendance form is a Google form. Please be very careful when you're filling it in, because if your IC is wrong, then I will face difficulty in keying in your name manually. So I do ask for your patience to fill this Google form. Write down your name, your IC, and your phone number. Just in case I couldn't key in your name, then I'll contact you personally for it. All right, so this is the attendance form. So remember, subscribe to the channel, and thank you to the speaker once more. It's a great sharing today, I have to admit. Thank you to all of you who have joined this sharing. So thank you to BPD for being so supportive, and to all of you for being so supportive as well. I'll see you guys again if the chance arises. All right, so that's it from me. Thank you very much, guys.
Thì con có làm nếm mute